Hey guys, Lyra Links here, and I'm back with another story time video. This is a story that I've been wanting to tell for a while, but it's like a little bit awkward, I guess. A lot of my friends have already heard about this, and I've had a lot of people feel bad for me or say that I'm probably just exaggerating, but this is the story of how my first kiss went down. So first of all, I met this guy who was sort of my technical first boyfriend since I don't think most people count their elementary school relationships. This was my first official boyfriend. I met them at this place called Campus Life through this game where there were three bowls set out in front of him. Two of them contained salt and one of them contained sugar, and it was the job of everyone who was picked to try and convince him that they were the ones that had the sugar in their bowl, and he had to take a spoonful of it and test it. He got to pick his own people. I just raised my hand randomly. I didn't even know this guy. Let's call him Bill. Sure. So Bill picked two of his friends to come up there, and then Bill also picked me, and I was like, oh, cool. I just kind of wanted to participate in a game, because why not? I didn't actually think I'd get picked, but then I was. And one of my friends who was picked and turned out to be friends with him too, was the one that had the sugar, and I was one of the two that had the salt. And so we had to convince Bill that we were the ones with the sugar. And so I somehow managed to convince him that I was the one with the sugar, and he got a mouthful of salt instead. Yeah, that's a great way to meet someone. But afterward, I asked his name from one of the volunteers, and I'm like, oh, maybe I should find out where Bill's at and apologize to him. And then I started crushing on him from there back then. So, I was super awkward. I tried to flirt. That didn't really work. He had a girlfriend for a while, but then eventually we get together. And I told my parents about it, and they gave me one rule. One rule which would have been better if I had just followed it, honestly. The only thing they didn't want me to do was kiss him. Day before my birthday rolls around, and that's when my party is. He comes over, we go swimming, all that. But then, my mom, sister, my friend, and I drive him home, and he wants me to come inside because he says that he has a present for me. And I kind of knew, it might be leading to a kiss or something. And my friend had wanted to walk in with me. My girlfriend, we'll call her Sarah? Sure. So Sarah wanted to walk in with me, but she decided to stay in the car. She was staying the night with us, and I'm so glad that she did because she helped me feel better afterward. But she stayed in the car. I went into his room, which was super messy. Not gonna lie, my room's messy too, but oof. And he hands me a Fennekin plushie that I had seen when I had gone in there once before. And I was super happy, and I was like, wow, I love Pokemon, I love Fennekin, this is so cute. And actually, I still have the Fennekin, I just never did anything with it. I still like Pokemon, even though things didn't work out between us. But then, after I had been given the Fennekin plushie, he asks me if I'd like to kiss him and not tell my parents about it. And so, being the person I was in my fanfiction writing stage still. I was like, wow, a first kiss, that's like a big moment. It's something that's going to be magical and everything. But when we kissed, honestly, I was taken completely by surprise. It felt not good to me at all. It felt kind of like too much spit. It was like a slobbery. That sounds really bad to say, and I always feel so weird whenever I tell the story, but honestly to me, it just like felt slobbery and I didn't like it. But I didn't reveal that. And after he pulled away, he asked me if I wanted to try French kissing. On the outside, I was all like, no, I'm not ready for that yet. But on the inside, I was like, hell no, please, no. Because I didn't even like the first one, and I had no idea what it would feel like to go a step up from that. I was not ready. And so that ended that. I left his house, and I immediately, like, started wiping my mouth. I feel so bad. Like, if Bill were to ever hear this story, I would feel very bad, but I can't lie. I honestly was not into it. The kiss didn't feel good. Maybe that was a sign that maybe I wasn't connected to him, and I shouldn't have been breaking rules that my parents set in place anyway. Not that I still don't do that, but and I walked back to the car. At first I was just going to lie about the kiss, but then I revealed it, and I told everybody about it. And my mother was like slightly disappointed, but nobody was more disappointed than me. I actually started crying because I felt bad for disobeying her and because it wasn't even that great, so it wasn't worth it. When I got home, I actually put my mouth under the sink and washed it out just because I felt so guilty and horrible and just like gross inside. And my mom could see how guilty I felt. Sarah felt bad for me, and so did my sister. They all told me to just eat some ice cream, forget about it. So I tried to do that. I talked to them about it. I told them that it wasn't that great. And my friend Sarah asked me, like, oh, was it legitimately not that great, or did it only feel bad to you because you feel guilty? And I was like, well, it definitely feels worse because I'm guilty, but I legitimately didn't like my first kiss there. And so I felt guilty for a couple days. I hadn't talked to him in a while. We live in separate towns. I think even still. So I mean, I didn't get to see him very much, and we called very rarely. Honestly, it was kind of a distant relationship, sort of, to begin with, and I mean, I didn't get to see him as much as I wanted, and that probably was a good thing because I don't know. Maybe that was just a sign that things were moving too fast. Looking back, I just don't feel entirely comfortable. I don't know. But I decided a few days later that that was awkward. I felt bad. I didn't want to get into scenarios like that anymore. And I ended up breaking up with him. And honestly, it's probably for the best in my life. It felt better afterward to have broken up. And looking back now, I'm glad I did, because now I'm with an amazing guy who is my second kiss, and now I understand what it is to have a good kiss. Maybe I'll tell the story of my first kiss with devils sometime on the channel, because it was actually really cute and anime-like and weird, and I was so embarrassed. So yeah, maybe I'll tell that story, because that's that's a lot happier. It was actually after that first kiss that I was, for a long time, in a couple other relationships I had, I was scared to kiss anybody again because the first one was bad, so I thought that maybe every other one would feel like that. And so I didn't do it with any of my boyfriends up until Devils, and it changed everything. So anyway, I hope you liked my awkward story about me being grossed out by my first kiss, which is really unfortunate, I guess. Well, at least I'm happy now. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more content, and feel free to leave in the comments any suggestions that you have for me. Bye.